Here we go. Hi, my name is Andrea Earl, and welcome to Not Another Boring Staff Meeting. The goal of this session is to share some of ideas and strategies that I've used to help streamline communication and make staff meetings more productive. For the session, we're going to be using Nearpod. Shelly is my co-pilot, and she's put the Nearpod link in the chat. She'll post that again for you. But please go ahead and log into Nearpod, follow along. And at the end of the session, I'll give you a link to the complete slide deck with all of the session resources. A couple housekeeping tips. While you go ahead and you can do the first few activities on your own right now, go ahead and let's find out who's in the room. When I go to teacher view, I can get a list of everybody in the room. And I can see we have a lot of classroom teachers, a lot of high school classroom teachers, which is D. And we have one administrator. All right, so go ahead and this session is really designed for anyone who runs any kind of groups, clubs, staff meetings, to just give you more tools and resources. A lot of these strategies I've actually used in the classroom and with other groups. So go ahead and once you say who you are, go ahead and take a minute and let me turn off names. Oops, that was not the one I wanted. Turn it to anonymous and go ahead and create your Mr. Potato Head. As I was telling the people who came in early, I always want something for my students to do when they first come in the room. And I want my teachers to have something to do as well. When at all possible, it's related to the activity of the day or just something fun and engaging. This is actually an SEL check, kind of get an idea, pulse of the room, how people are feeling. So if you haven't finished Mr. Potato Head, oh, these are so cute. I'm going to share a few of these. I'm just going to make them large so everybody can see what other people, whoops, that was not the way I wanted to share. Let's do that again. All right, here we go. Clip here. Cute. See, we can click through everybody's work. Once you're done, you hit submit. Love the teeth. There we go. All right. So you can kind of see, oh, I hope someone's not feeling bad. But it's kind of a great way. You can have students write about, why they made Mr. Potato Head that way, or just do it for fun and move on. All right. So let's take care of a few housekeeping things. If you've never used Nearpod before, in the top right-hand corner around this red circle, you're going to see a little book with a microphone. So that's built-in immersive reader, which I always teach my students to use. Teachers do need to turn it on in their settings the first time you use it. But you're also going to see this pencil and a piece of paper. When you click that, a tray will pop out. And this is going to allow you to take notes throughout the presentation. You can then have those notes sent to you via email, slides, or OneDrive. The trick here, though, is keep this tray open for the whole presentation, because the minute you close it, those notes are generated and sent to you. So to do more, you have to open it and reconnect. But what it does is it puts notes next to each slide. So just kind of a good way for you to follow along and have this information later. All right, I'm going to turn off. Okay, I'm turning off student paste, so we're all together now. A few housekeeping from the amazing people here in your district. I want to make sure everybody can hear and see. If there's any questions, please pop them in the chat. Shelly is my co-pilot, and she'll be answering questions or directing them to me as necessary. You do have the opportunity to receive credit if you're in the district. What else? This session is being recorded if you want to listen to it later. At the end, there is going to be a form to record your attendance for employees. All right, I am Andrea Earl, and I'm actually new job, certificated learning and achievement specialist. I'm in the Santa Ana Unified School District, Santa Ana, California. This is my 40th year in education. I can hardly believe it. I am a recovering math teacher and Canvas certified educator, Google certified trainer, and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's all the ways to connect with me, and I really hope you will. I really enjoy connecting with teachers. I get in this position, I get to work with teachers individually. I get to work with administrators and departments on all things related to instructional technology with a focus on pedagogy. So let's go ahead and get started with today's session. In this session, I'm going to share some strategies for creating an environment which promotes healthy collaboration. I'm going to share some strategies for creating logistical structures that promote productivity among your staff or students. And then I'm going to ask you to identify one thing that you want to try to help promote productivity and collaboration in your context. So let's go ahead and get started. The ISTE standards, empowering leaders who want to learn from this work, create a culture where teachers and learners are empowered to use technology in innovative ways to enrich teaching and learning. All right, and that's what we're going to do right now. All right, whenever I do a professional development or a staff meeting or a leadership team meeting, I always start with a warm welcome. So we're going to start with a warm welcome today. And the warm welcome we're going to do is called Thin Slides. Thin Slides is a super easy activity because all you need to do is create a shared slide deck and share the link with everyone. You pick a topic, and everyone needs to pick one word and one image about that topic, and then be prepared to share. So for you today, I want you to think about what's your why for why you're in your current role in education. What's one word, and then find one image that defines your why. And then you're going to share with us. Everyone should now have access to the shared slide deck. Go ahead and grab a slide. If you see a little head bobbing on a slide, it means someone else is there, so go to another slide. I'm only going to give you 3 minutes to find your one word, one image. So go ahead and begin. A pro tip when you're searching for images, teach students to go to the insert. Oops, it's not working well here. Insert images from the insert menu and search the web. That keeps them inside Google, and it is a safe search. So if they search for balls, they are getting playground balls. All right, about 30 seconds. The view I'm showing you right now is the slide share. So I can see every student working or every adult working. And that way I can walk around and interact with people and ask people if they need help getting started. Are there any questions they have? And lets me keep a pulse on what's happening with the group. All right, we're going to go ahead and stop. What I'd like you to do as soon as I pop into your slide, even if you're not done, that's totally fine. If you would go ahead really quickly and just share your word and why. So we'll start with this person. Oh, if you want to put your name at the top, that would be great. You don't have to. If you want to put any social here, you could. And so that other people that are in the session today can connect with you later. But totally optional. So I don't know whose this is, but if you could please unmute, tell us why you picked the word experience and your image.
So my name's Todd Calloway. I'm a history instructor at Buncombe County Early College. And I've only been teaching 12 years. I was a 20-year journalist for many different major journalism outlets, and I've used experience because the experiences that I have had in life, I like to bring to my classroom and help my students recognize that they have the opportunity and the ability to know exactly what I know without having to live what I live. That experience that I gain can be the experience they gain in my classroom, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Would this person like to go? This person's not done. We'll go on. How about this person? Millie?
I am Millie Stubbs. I'm the dual language and world languages specialist for Buncombe County. My word was support. My role is to, and my why is to provide support for amazing world languages teachers, many of whom come from another country into our country to teach for us. And I had trouble with my image.
No
But I was
worries.
going to put a flamingo in because everybody knows flamingos are my thing.
There you go. Thank you. Now I know. All right, Bradley.
Hello, my name is Bradley King, and I am a teacher at Earl Middle School in Buncombe County. I teach middle school math, but I'm starting my administration program this fall. And so I chose support because what I really want to do is support teachers and students to be as successful as they can be.
Thank you. Wonderful. All right. Roseanne.
Oh, hi. Well, I was just focusing mostly on well, not that I'm just teaching my seniors, but I started my seniors when they were in 6th grade. And so I'm really wanting to make this the best year for them.
Oh, that's super cool. Thank you. All right. Connie.
Hello. I think I will gradually pop up. My name is Connie Wolf. I'm a district instructional technology facilitator in Craven County, North Carolina. I also picked the word support. I didn't realize that was going to be a trend. But the reason I picked it was because as a tech facilitator, I feel more like a tech counselor sometimes. I'm there to support you with creating cool learning experiences in your classroom involving technology. But I'm also there to support you while we're trying to get the technology working. You might just share something else about your life or about your day or about your students. And so I wind up being kind of a one-stop shop for support in a variety of ways. And I enjoy that.
Thank you. I love it. All right. We have a few more people. Caitlin.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Johnson. I'm with Buncombe County Schools. I chose the word opportunity. For the last 10 years, I taught in family and consumer sciences, child development, and early childhood education, and supported students in hands-on learning in our on-site preschool. And this year, I'll be working primarily with workforce development for them. So my goal is to provide them with more opportunity while they're in school, but also real world job certifications and opportunities outside of the classroom with regards to higher ed and career and college readiness.
Thank you. All right. Just in the name of time, I'm not going to have everybody share, but in the classroom, every single person would share. In my professional learning opportunities that are more than 45 minutes, everyone shares. So let me just talk about this as a strategy. Okay. Thin slides as a strategy. It does come from the Edge Protocols field guide. And the whole idea is, you saw how easy it was. One word, one image, one slide. Students, I give them 5 minutes, not 3. But then every single student has something to share about. You can push this out on a shared slide deck like I did. You could do individual slides. You could push it out through Pear Deck or Nearpod. It doesn't really matter, but you're setting the foundation for whatever your topic's going to be of the day. When I did the volcano unit in science, that's all I said was volcanoes. And the students picked one word and one image. And as they were sharing, I realized there were a lot of misconceptions. They also had a lot of questions, which then I could address in my lessons. I did this with a group of avid students, and the word was college. And the thing that kept coming up was money, expensive. And I saw a trend in the words, like I saw a trend in your words, that a lot of you put things that dealt with support or the way you want to support others. With the students, when I saw all these comments about money and expense, it really helped me frame a lot of what I was going to be, you know, the lessons, and include information about paying for college, because obviously that was way on their minds, but it also got them invested in the topic before we really started. So that is thin slides. All right. Any questions about thin slides as a warm welcome activity? And to push it out to students, I create the shared slide deck. I have actually used this same slide deck over and over again. I just make a copy. I change the word on the first screen. Whoops, right here. I just change the word or the topic. That's it. So really very little work. And then once you teach students how to do it and how to insert the word in the picture, then they just get to work and they can focus on the content. All right, I see a couple of people put their words in the chat. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go on because we have such a short time today. Here's the rest of the information about thin slides. This is a link to a Wakelet with a bunch of templates already ready for you. Just file, make a copy. And the key here, the very bottom, everyone shares. And I'm sorry we didn't get to everybody today. All right, so in order to have effective collaboration, you need to create the conditions, right? For your classroom, for your students, for your staff. So I'm going to share some ideas for you on how to do that. The first thing, you need to know your why. So you all shared your why. It's important you share that with the people that you work with, whether it's teachers or students. They need to know why you're there, because that helps them understand your purpose. It's also good to have your staff articulate their why. Especially, you know, when you know, stuff is going on, hard things are happening, you know, problems in the community or in the world. It helps ground them in why they're in this place doing this job. So that can be a whole activity, or just use the thin slides to help bring everybody, you know, together. Okay. I like this quote at the bottom. If the goal is vague, then vague is the goal. We want to be specific. We want to be focused on why we're here doing what we're doing. All right. All right. Community agreements. Community agreements are a great way to bring a staff together because they build trust, clarity of purpose, and they get everybody to buy in, I guess. Whenever I work with a new group of teachers or students, I do this in both high school and middle school community agreements. I start with a few, and these are kind of like the expectations that we're all going to agree to. For example, I will be present, right? We want everyone to be present in your trainings, in your workshops, in your staff meetings. Together we will find solutions is another one of my favorites, because it's not just about me as the leader or the facilitator or the teacher. I want everyone to work together for a common purpose. I always start out with a few like 2 or 3 community agreements that I like personally, but then I ask the group for what they would like to include. Inevitably, with a group of staff members, someone's going to say no cell phones. And I love it, because so many of our, you know, the meetings that we've done over the years have been boring and a waste of time. So you're on your phone, or you're grading papers, but the people that are doing that are not really engaged with what you're doing. So by putting, you know, some community agreements in place, then you can kind of say something to those members. So if it's, you know, I will be present and participate, maybe is one of the community agreements you agree on. And then you've got someone that's grading papers. You can just gently remind them, you know, we all agreed these community agreements that we would all be present. You know, would you mind saving that for later? Right? We don't want to be obnoxious, but we do need people to participate if we want to build a community. All right. I have some sample community agreements. There's some, if you want to learn more about community agreements, but I think it's super important that they're developed together everybody agrees, and then, everybody will work to kind of enforce them and together. All right, let's talk about community building. And I'm sure a lot of you already do stuff like this, but you want your staff and your students to form connections with each other, right? And you need to build in time for that. And I hear teachers say, oh, I don't have time to do that. I need to start with the content. You got to have connection before content. And you have to be really intentional on creating those conditions. I have a couple activities here on the right that are ready to go. Frayer a Colleague is a great back to school activity. And you can also use Frayer a Classmate. But that's when two people interview each other and get to know each other on a deeper level. I mean, I hate those icebreakers, the one where you run around the room and find the person who has a twin or find the person who was born in August, because there's no conversation, right? Whereas a good warm welcome builds community because there's conversation and there's time for people to talk and connect. 3 truths and a lie. Each person writes down 3 true things about them and 1 lie. And then as a group, you've got to guess which one's the lie. You can do that through quizzes. I've put it in there, so I made multiple choice questions. That's kind of fun. Thin slides we just did. And fortune cookie. Another teacher gave me this, is everyone writes down 1 positive thing, some like inspirational message that might help a colleague, maybe right before finals or right before report cards are due, when people are stressed out. So you write 1 inspirational message and you fold it up and staple it. And then whoever collects those the day before testing, the day before finals, whenever they decide, they put a fortune cookie with this message in everybody's box or in everybody's desk, or everybody gets one. So when everybody's stressed out, you get this kind of nice, happy, inspirational message to kind of perk you up, right? I usually have teachers make the fortune cookies one of the first staff meetings of the year, and then I just pick random days to pass them out. But everybody gets one. And this is staff-wide. This is not just your teachers. This is not just your instructional assistants, but it's everybody, your custodians, your crossing guards, your office staff. Everybody participates. And that's really when you build community, when you bring everybody in. I worked with the staff last year. We did the Frayer a Colleague. And for some of the teachers on that staff, it was the first time they had talked to their noon supervisors or their custodian, right? And they were realizing they were making connections. And I could see after that activity throughout the year that there was a lot more interaction between the different groups, right? All right. So other things to build community, staff recognitions, right? Root Beer Float Friday, that's my personal favorite. Of course, happy hours. Fat Friday is another personal favorite. One school I worked at, every Friday, one department was in charge of bringing snacks for everybody. So math did it on, the first Friday, and language arts did it on a Friday. Office staff did it on a Friday. The support staff did another, but it was just kind of a communal time for people to get together, and chat, and gave people to go to the staff room, right, and talk to each other in a more relaxed setting. All right, now I know there's a ton of things that you do to build. Oh, where'd that slide go? All right, we're going to come back. We'll come back to that. All right. The third thing is brand everything. Everything. Branding sets the tone for your school. Have school t-shirts. Paint your logo. Have your logo in your classroom. Have your logo in your school. This staff did jerseys. This is something that a lot of the schools where I teach in Santa Ana are doing now. They do staff jerseys. So it's the school colors. The teacher's last name is on the top. But nobody told me, and this is communication is so important. The numbers were supposed to be the year you started at the school. I didn't get the message, and I put 30 on mine. Wish someone had said something. But again, communication is key. But it's great that everybody has that jersey. And now anytime I go back to visit the school, I wear my jersey, right? Because I was part of that staff for so long. T-shirts, sweatshirts, spirit days. Everybody needs to get in charge, even if you're not that person that dresses up, even if that's not your thing, it's okay. Do it anyway, because you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the community. And it's fun. Let yourself have a little bit of fun. If your students see you having fun and being involved, they're more likely to be involved as well. All right. All right, here we go. So I want to know how you build community with your staff, or how the administrators on your site, what things do they do? What activities do you have that helps build community? So I shared some of the things that I've done with staff I work with. Go ahead and add a little note here so that other people can get a lot more ideas, because there's so many ideas out there. You can just type in your response in the space and then you hit submit, or if you want to put a picture or you want to record your voice, give about 1 minute to do that, okay? So that way we can crowdsource ideas. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, and if you see one you really like, heart it. Love a pancake breakfast. Mini golf in the library. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's fabulous. These are great. Pelican Snow Cone Day. Pep Club Wheat, yeah. These are great. Give everybody another minute. Oh, did I delete the post? I think I did. I apologize. I hit the wrong button. I did not mean to delete your post, whoever that is. I don't know if you have any restaurants out where you teach, but we have a sandwich shop here and teachers can place their orders and then they will deliver the sandwiches to the school. So we would do every Tuesday. They had a kind of a set order form and they would just deliver for free. But it was fun. We'd have, at least half the staff would order lunch, if not more. And of course, when you get your lunch, we would then all eat together. All right. And you're going to have access to all these after, as long as you hit that little pencil, you'll see that. A scavenger hunt. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my son's school does class colors. So the seniors are blue, the juniors are green, the sophomores are yellow, and the freshmen are red. I don't know. I don't remember the colors exactly, but so at football games, they wear their colors, and part of their back to school package is they can buy a class t-shirt for $5, or it's included with their ASB card. So they get the shirt that has their color and says senior, senior, junior, freshman, whatever.
There's a few fun ideas in the chat as well that didn't make it to the board.
Oh yeah. Okay. Pep Club. Okay. Pelican Snow Cone Day. That sounds really good. Pizza Fridays. These are all great ways. Anything we can do to get our staff together. And then if you have a staff member that never shows up, go talk to them and invite them, right? Personally invite them to come participate, or just do it as part of your staff meeting. One principal I work with has something at every staff meeting. So he'll have ice cream. He did root beer floats once. He had ice cream once. He had pizza. He just always has something at the staff meeting. And he has sets aside time for teachers just to talk and socialize. So you got to create, sometimes you got to create those conditions, and sometimes you got to nudge those teachers out of their classrooms to participate, and be sure to involve your whole staff. All right, let's go on. All right. Oh goodness, time's short. Creating logistics. So I want to share a couple of things that I've done that have really streamlined the staff meeting time itself, or just the meeting time for any group I'm working with, whether it's a group of curriculum specialists or coaches or whatever. It's called the perpetual agenda. I got this from one of my previous bosses. And the first time I saw this, I was like, this is too much. I can't handle it. But when I started using it, I realized it was a great way to keep things organized. So I'm going to go ahead and open this link just so you can see. And here's the template so you can get it. Oh, you can't get it. Oh, no. All right. So perpetual agenda, what it does, hang on one second. Let me get it. let me grab the perpetual agenda because I really want to show you. This is the first time I saw it. Like I said, it was super confusing, but now I think it is the best thing since sliced bread. It is a sheet. It can be Google or OneDrive, doesn't matter where you have it. But the idea is everything's in one place. So the first page is every single staff member, their position, their email, their planning period. If they're in a classroom, their phone extension, their room number, or location. So noon supervisors obviously didn't have a room number, but everybody's on this list. So I know everybody that's on staff. If they have some connections, if they want to share their cell phone, great. If not, that's fine. If they want to share Twitter or Facebook or whatever, they can do that. Don't have to. But everything in one place, and I can update it. And if I update it, everybody sees it. And I don't have to worry about, handing out more phone lists and reprinting because it gets crazy. Oh yes, I will put the share link in the chat. Yes. Copy link. All right, here you go. All right. So the next pages are your schedule, all your meetings. And if you have to change something, this is where you change it. You can say, okay, we're going to have a staff meeting in ILT. This is our main topic, right? So that everybody's on the same page. And when you change things, it's here because you can send out calendar invites and I think you should, but everything in one place. All right. Events calendar. Again, everything in one place. So if a teacher's going to have an event, they're going to do, if this is really for school-wide events, but it could be, the music concert or the drama production, the show, everything in one place again. So if I want to plan something, I can go look here really quick and go, oh yeah, I see Mrs. Johnson's got, her drama kids are doing something on Wednesday. I better do something on Thursday. All right. But here's where the real magic. This is your staff meeting. Every staff meeting is on its own sheet. You have your warm welcome. So if I'm doing a community building activity and it's Google Sheets, there's a link right here that goes to it. The community agreements, there's always a link, goes right to it. Business. Oh, someone's going to share a PBIS report. Instead of handing out all these pieces of paper or all these links, throwing all these links in the chat or, emailing, and that's my least favorite is all the emails. Here's a link for this, that, and the other thing. Here's this schedule. And then I fix the schedule. Instead, everything goes in the perpetual agenda. That way, if someone's absent or forgets, right, or needs to go back and needs more information, it's all there for them. I was working with this principal last year and he calls me and he goes, Andrea, I'm so glad that I did this perpetual agenda because Mrs. So-and-so came to me because she didn't understand the testing schedule and she didn't know why we didn't give her a copy. And she was very mad and upset and because, we don't communicate. So I asked her if she had bookmarked the perpetual agenda. And she's like, well, no, I don't do technology. And he's like, it's all there. It's all perfectly, it's right there for you. So it really, and honestly, it saved him a ton of headaches throughout the year. Anyway, sorry, I'm going really fast here. If you're going to do a PD, put it in there, put all the links, social committee, all the details. I always have one person at the staff meeting, not the administrator who's running the meeting or not the person running the meeting, but somebody else, take notes, add details, right? So anyone who's not, who's not there or forgets can look at it later. All right. And then you simply, do I have one? Oh, I don't have one filled in, but I do have a sample agenda here, right? So you just duplicate it, put in your information, and it's all year long. You always have it. It's a running record and nobody can complain that you didn't communicate with them. All right, moving back. All right. Here's some other things you can do in your sample, in other ideas for your sample agenda. Building in staff recognitions is huge. One staff I work with, they recognize each other. So there's 4 little trophies, and every month, the 4 teachers that have it will recognize another teacher that maybe did something special or helped them or was supportive or worked with a student. For whatever reason, they choose to recognize another staff member. So every month, 4 staff members are being recognized by their peers for various things. And it's super open-ended. But it's just a nice way to say, hey, thanks, we see you, right? All right, moving on. I think I'm going to skip over this right now. Well, what are some things you do for staff recognition? No, I do want to see your ideas because I'm always looking for new ideas for the people, for the administrators I work with. So super quick, what things have you done for staff recognition? And I'm not talking about the teacher of the year because, that's the one person, but for ongoing throughout the year. So I'll give everybody about 1 minute just to pop in some ideas. Oh, one school I worked with, one of the English teachers had the students all write letters to different teachers throughout the campus and different, not just the teachers, but different people on campus. So he had about 160 students, and every student pretty much got a different person to write to. And then he delivered all those letters. He did it right before testing, which was kind of nice, or before finals in the fall. But so each staff member got a personal letter. It was kind of cool. Oh, I noticed. Okay. If you have a link to your form for the I noticed form, you can pop it in there. That'd be kind of cool. Okay. Free lunch by the principal. I like that. Yeah. So these are some really good ideas. So everybody checked out those ideas. We're going to go ahead and move on because we're short on time. All right. The next thing you need is you need a communication plan. I don't know about you, but I get so many emails. And now that I work with so many different schools and I'm on everybody's email list, it's overwhelming. And then there's reply all, and it maybe doesn't need to go to everybody. And it's just on and on and on. And there's links buried, and it just drives me insane. So have a communication plan. Now, I know BCS, you guys are a Canvas district. Set up a Canvas hub for your school site. All communication can go through that hub. You can post your perpetual agenda in Canvas, your bell schedule, your email list, your everything, all the forms, right, that you need. I know one school, you've got your referral forms. Post links to those right in the Canvas staff hub. And if you check in Commons and you search for my name or you search for staff hub, there's a template there you're welcome to use. That kind of has some different layouts you might like. But whatever you do, have a plan, and the plan cannot just be email. I know some principals like to do like a weekly newsletter or a weekly like bulletin with important things that are coming up. That's great. You can post that in Canvas too, actually, and then you have a running record of all of those. You need a staff calendar, and it needs to be live. And it needs to be easy for people to add stuff to. Canvas does have those course calendars. That's a great way. Or have a Google Calendar. Whatever you have, whatever you decide, make sure that every single person can access the information. Okay, that's key. And everyone knows how to access the information. And it's kind of like with your students, you teach them explicitly how you want them to communicate with you. You teach them how to create an email, how to email you, or if you're in Canvas, how to use the inbox. Staff members are the same way. Adults are the same way. You need to teach them exactly how you want the interactions to flow. Because once you do, and once everybody's on board, everything else is going to be a lot smoother. And you're going to have a lot less of, I don't know what's going on. All right. All right. Finally, everything you do, you should be modeling effective pedagogy. That's why I presented today using Nearpod, because Nearpod allows interaction, right, when we're at a distance. But Nearpod can be great, or Pear Deck, you guys use Pear Deck, can be great even in face-to-face situations, because it encourages every single person to participate. Whatever you do, whether it's just a staff meeting, whether it's just informational, whether you're going over testing procedures and whatever, use effective pedagogy, just like you would do in the classroom. First of all, it's going to make the time together run really smoothly, but also it's going to maybe spur an ideas within your teachers on maybe strategies they could use with their students. Okay. Whenever possible, and you're doing PD, I really encourage you to offer choice. That's why I love your conference and I love participating, because you all had choice on where to be today. And I think that's fantastic. The one size fits all, we know that doesn't work with our students and it doesn't work with our staff either. What else? Be explicit when you're doing PD. Be explicit, and even with your students, when you're doing a lesson, be explicit. What do you want students to get out of it? Why are you doing it? How are you doing it? And how are you going to measure whether you were successful? Today, I'm going to measure how is successful based on your feedback on the survey that you're going to be getting at the end of the conference, right? And from your comments in the chat. So you always want to think about all these things, right? All right. And then we want to always end with optimistic closure. Whether it's a staff meeting, whether it's a PD training, whether it's a class, optimistic closures. So what I want you to do is we're going to go back to the slide deck, the thin slide deck, and I want you to pick one idea from all these things that I shared today that you might want to try this year. So we're back in the same exact slide deck. Find your slide. What's one thing you might want to try, or one thing you might want to learn more about? And go ahead and pop it in there. Give about 1 minute to do that. And actually, let me put the link to this. Yeah, thin slides. I'm going to put this link separately. Oop, that was not what I wanted to do. Into the chat so everybody gets it. There we go. Because while you're doing that, because we have 1 minute left, I do want to kind of finish up and wrap up. So you are going to pop off the slide deck. You will need that external link to finish. But I want to take a moment to thank the BCS STEAM sponsors. You guys have amazing sponsors for this event that really allowed it to be free and open to the world, really. So I really appreciate that personally. Feedback form. I said you're going to be getting a feedback form. Please fill it out. Feedback is super important. A couple shameless plugs. QCUE.org is a professional organization for educators that focuses on using technology to improve teaching and learning. It's only $40 a year to join. There's a ton of events. In fact, on October 11th, I don't have the date there, October 11th, Orange County Q, the Orange County affiliate, of which I am currently the president, we're having a free virtual event on media literacy and digital citizenship in the age of AI. So if you go to q.org, if you join, you'll get the information. If not, you can look. I believe we'll be posting it on Eventbrite this week. But we'd love to have you join us. And we need presenters too. So second shameless plug, I launched a podcast a couple weeks ago called The Digital, my website is thedigitalteach.com. It's called Building Classroom Community. And my purpose in the podcast, my why, is I want to help teachers be better. I've been teaching for a long time. Every mistake that could be made, every bad practice, I've done it, right? But I've learned and I've improved over the years. So if I can help other teachers be a little bit better and be a little more intentional in their practice, that's what I would like to do. So my podcast is a very practical approach to real things you can do in the classroom to make teaching and learning better for your students. So I hope you'll like and subscribe. It's available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And the second episode just dropped yesterday. The quality isn't so hot yet, but I'm working on it. I'll get better. And my son did the music, and apparently I did not add it correctly. So he's going to help me for episode 3 do it correctly. But it's a learning, right? Everything's a work in progress. But I hope a little bit of my experience will help, some teachers be better. I also have a YouTube channel with Canvas tips of the day, short little clips on how to do different things in Canvas to get you going. I love your theme this year. I told the first group, back to the best, because I was lucky enough to attend InstructureCon, which is the big Canvas conference. And they had a real DeLorean. So there's me with the real DeLorean just a couple weeks ago. Super, super cool. Anyway, I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have questions, please feel free to unmute and hang out for a little bit. But I'm going to stop the recording, and thank you so, so much.